What if I told you an AI could learn to see in full color, after only ever being trained on black and white images? I know, it sounds completely impossible, right? It's kind of like learning to taste food without ever having a tongue. But it actually happened, and the way they pulled it off could fundamentally change how we build AI from now on.
So that's the big mystery we're going to unravel. It's not a riddle, it's a real technical challenge. How on earth does a machine learn a concept like red or blue when its entire universe has just been shades of gray? Well, to get to the answer, we first have to tackle this huge hidden roadblock that trips up even the smartest AI systems. And the solution to our color puzzle is all tied up in solving something called the Mediocrity Trap. It's this super common, super frustrating problem that happens when we try to combine two expert AIs, hoping to create one super smart AI.
Okay, so what exactly is this trap? Well, imagine you have two highly specialized AIs. One's a world-class expert at identifying cats, and the other is a genius at identifying dogs. The dream, of course, is to merge them together into one ultimate pet recognizer. Simple enough, right? Nope, not even close.
This right here is the mediocrity trap. Instead of getting the best of both worlds, more often than not, you end up with a confused, jumbled-up model that's actually worse at its job than either of the original experts. It's like having two incredible musicians play two different songs at the same time. The result is just noise. But why does that happen?
So here's the geeky reason. An AI's knowledge is stored as these really complex geometric structures. Think of them like intricate sculptures. And when you just naively average them, their unique, delicate structures basically smash into each other and get destroyed. The models are pointing in different directions, and averaging them just drags everything into a useless, mushy middle. The researchers behind this huge breakthrough realized the problem wasn't the knowledge itself. The problem was how we were thinking about the knowledge. So they split an AI's brain, so to speak, into two different parts, its capacity and its orientation. And trust me, understanding this difference is the key to everything. First up, you've got capacity. This is basically the raw power of the model's different skills. The orchestra analogy is perfect here. Capacity is the volume knob for each instrument, a really loud trumpet, a soft violin. That's capacity. It's the strength of each feature the AI has learned. And then there's orientation, and this is where it gets really, really cool. Orientation doesn't touch the volume of the instruments at all. Instead, it just changes where they're sitting. It's the orchestra's seating chart. You've got the same musicians playing at the same volume, but just by rearranging them, you can create a totally new sound. You're just re-aiming existing knowledge.
This brings us to the hero of this whole story, a brand new technique called Rotational Rank Adaptation, or just RoRA for short. And its name pretty much tells you exactly what its game plan is. RoRA's superpower is that it brilliantly sidesteps the mediocrity trap because it only messes with the orientation. It literally freezes the AI's core knowledge, that's the volume of the instruments, and it focuses all its energy on just rearranging the seating chart for whatever new task you give it. It doesn't add anything, it doesn't average anything, it simply rotates what's already there.
The whole process is actually pretty elegant. First, you lock in all that base knowledge so it can't be damaged. Then, you figure out the most efficient way to rotate it for the new job. And finally, you just apply that rotation. It's a surgically precise way to adapt a model without any of that destructive chaos we saw before.
This comparison just nails the difference. The old way, naive merging, is like mixing two vibrant paint colors together and just getting a sludgy, ugly brown. You've destroyed what made each color special. But RoRA is different. It merges the instructions for rotation. That's like averaging two directions on a map. You average go north and go east, and what do you get? Go northeast, a perfectly valid, totally useful new direction.
Okay, so let's bring it all back to that impossible task from the beginning. We've got an AI that only knows black and white, and we're asking it to understand full-color images. This is the ultimate test. Does this whole rotation idea actually work in the real world?
The results are, well, they're pretty mind-blowing. The standard method called LoRA, which tries to add new information, really struggles. It tops out at about 57% accuracy. But RoRA, which only rotates the existing knowledge, hits nearly 74% accuracy. That's not just a small bump. That is a massive, massive leap.
Yeah, we're talking about a more than 16 percentage point jump in accuracy. In the world of AI, a jump that big isn't just an improvement, it's a genuine breakthrough.
It basically proves that for certain problems, trying to add new knowledge is just flat out the wrong way to go.
And you can see the performance gap so clearly on this graph. As you make the adaptation more complex, RoRA's advantage just gets bigger and bigger. So this isn't some one-off fluke. It is a consistently, fundamentally better strategy for this kind of challenge.
And here it is, the solution to our mystery. The AI never had to learn red from scratch. It already had this incredibly rich understanding of the world from all those black and white images. It knew about edges, shadows, shapes, textures. It knew all of that. RoRA's job was simply to teach it how to rotate that existing knowledge to map onto the 3 new color channels. It wasn't a creation problem, it was a translation problem.
So, this all brings us to a really practical question for anybody building AI models. When should you rotate and when should you add? Well, the research actually gives us a really clear framework for this.
Here's the easiest way to think about it. Use LoRA when you're adapting an already strong model to a new but related task. That's like giving a skilled chef a new recipe. They already have all the techniques, they just need to rearrange them. You use LoRA when you need to teach a model a truly new skill. That's like teaching that same chef a brand new cooking technique, something they've never seen before. One is about reorienting skills, the other is about adding them.
And this leaves us with a pretty wild final thought. For years, we've thought about building a single, giant superintelligence from the ground up. But what if that's not how it's going to happen? What if techniques like RoRA mean that the future of AI isn't about building, but about assembling? A future where the most powerful AIs are actually orchestras, composed of dozens of specialists, all rotated and arranged to play in perfect harmony.